My dear students, how are you? Hope that of all well by the grace of Almighty Allah. I am also well. I am Polash Kumar Mudok, lecturer in Finance, Banking and Insurance, Rajukuttara Model College. Today, I am going to deliver a lecture on Finance, Banking and Insurance, first paper, chapter 6, Long-Term Finance. Dear students, in my first lecture, I am going to focus on coupon bond, zero coupon bond and perpetual bond. Then today's topic of discussion, there are three types method of yield from bond. First one, yield to maturity YTM. Second, yield to call YTC. Third, current yield CY. Fourth, concept of share or stock. Fifth, what is stock market or capital market, and concept of Dhaka Stock Exchange DSE and Chittagong Stock Exchange CSE. Yield from bond. If a bond is retained for a certain period of time after purchase, expected return from the bond is termed as yield. There are three types method of the yield. First one, yield to maturity YTM. Yield to maturity YTM is the revenue an investor earns if he purchases a bond and retains it up to maturity. Second, yield to call YTC. Yield to call is the rate of return on a bond that has been called in by the issuing organization before its maturity. Third one, current yield CY. The rate at which interest is earned from a bond on its market price is called current yield. Yield to maturity YTM. Yield to maturity is the revenue an investor earns if he purchases a bond and retains it up to maturity. There are two methods calculation of YTM. First one, trial and error method. Second one, shortcut method. Since the shortcut method between these two methods is relatively easy and simple, then we will solve the YTM mathematical problems with this method. Formulas of YTM shortcut method. YTM equal I plus MB minus SB divided N divided MB plus SB divided 2. Here MB maturity value of bond, SB sales value of bond, I amount of interest, N maturity period of bond. Roxy company has issued a 10 years bond with a face value of BTT 1000 and the coupon rate is 10%. If the market value of the bond is BTT 1080, then what would the YTM if the bond is held until maturity? The information that we can see here, face value of the bond or maturity value of the bond 1000 taka, coupon interest rate 10% and market value of the bond or sales value of the bond 1080 and maturity period of the bond 10 years. We get these values by applying them to the formula. Then we are get yield to maturity 8.84%. Yield to call YTC. Yield to call is the rate of return on a bond that has been called in by the issuing organization or company before its maturity. Basically, it represents the discount rate which equates the discounted value of a bond's future cash flow to its current market price, given that the bond is called on the call date. Yield to call YTC equal I plus CP minus SB divided n CP plus SB divided 2. Here I amount of interest, CP call price of bond, SB sales value, and maturity period of bond. Problem 2. Banglaket company has issued a 10% bond with a face value of BDT 1000. The bond has a maturity value of 10 years, but there is a call provision to call the bond after 4 years with a call price of BDT 1060. If the current market price is BDT 1100, then what would be the YTC of that bond? The information that we can see here: coupon interest rate 10%, face value 1000, maturity value of bond 10 years, and maturity call period 4 years, call price of bond 1060, and market price of bond 1100. Here I equal face value of bond 1000 into coupon interest rate 10% equal BDT 100, CP call price of bond 1060, SB sales value of the bond 1100. The bond has 2 maturity period, but you will remember we are applying always call maturity period of the bond. So maturity period of bond n equal 4 years. We get these values by applying them to the formula. Then we are get YTC 8.33%. Current yield CY, the rate at which interest is earned from a bond on its market price, is called current yield. Formula of current yield CY equal I divided SB. Here SB equal sales value of bond, I equal amount of interest. Problem 3. OB Company Limited issued a bond with 8% coupon interest rate, where face value is BDT 1000, its market value is BDT 970. Determine the current yield of this bond. The information that we can see here: 8% coupon interest rate, face value of bond BDT 1000, market or sales value BDT 970. We know that current yield of bond CY equal I divided SB. Here I equal Face value of bond BDT 1000 into 8% equal BDT 80. Sales value of bond BDT 970. Put the value in the formula, then we get 8.25% current yield of bond. Concept of share or stock. Share is the small and equal unit of capital is a company. There are two main types of share. First, common share. Common stock is represent a ownership of the company with liability up to the face value of the stock, or common stock is voting stock that represents ownership of a corporation. Second, preferred or preference share. The shareholder of which share get priority in dividend distribution and capital return over other shareholders is called preference or preferred share. What is share market? The market in which share and bond of joint stock company are traded is known as share market. What is capital market? Capital market is a market in which long-term securities like shares, debentures, bonds, mutual funds and others financial instruments are traded and exchanged. One investor can invest in share market through two markets. These are primary market and secondary market. Primary market, the market in which a company proposes to sell its share and debenture primarily is called primary market. Secondary market. Secondary market provides investors with a mechanism for trading existing securities. BSEC, Bangladesh Security and Exchange Commission, is the share market controlling organization that approves a new company to issue share in the market. There are two stock exchanges in Bangladesh. They are Dhaka Stock Exchange DAC, Chittagong Stock Exchange CAC. Dhaka Stock Exchange DAC. DAC is the first and largest secondary stock market in Bangladesh. It was incorporated as East Pakistan Stock Exchange Association Limited in April 28, 1954 under the Company Act 1913. The formal trading was started in 1956. In 1962, the name was revised to East Pakistan Stock Exchange Limited. Again, in 1964, the name East Pakistan Stock Exchange Limited was changed to Dhaka Stock Exchange Limited. The number of listed securities in DAC is 527 on October 24, 2020. 2013. Chittagong Stock Exchange (CSE). CSE is the second stock exchange in Bangladesh. CSE began its journey on October 10, 1995 as a non-profit public limited company. It introduced floor trading on October 10, 1995. At the beginning, the number of listed securities at CSE was 30 and the paid up capital was Taka 216.4 crore. The number of listed securities in CSE was 267 on October 25, 2013. Index are usually used to understand the spirit and condition of the share market. Three types of index is used in Dhaka Stock Exchange. First, DSE-X index. Second, DSE-S index. Third, DSE-30 index. Some index is used in Chittagong Stock Exchange. First, CSE All Shares Price Index. Second, CSE Selective Category Index. Third, CSE 30 Index. Homework. 2 boot creative questions have been given as your homework, which you will record in your homework copy. CQ1. Chattogram, Borishal and Kumilla boot 2018. Mr. Shoykot wants to invest his bank savings. He has selected 2 bonds serving the market. Face value of the bond is Taka 100. Particulars of the bond are as follows. Bond AB, coupon rate 12% and 10%. Market value of bond A 119 and market value of bond B 80. Maturity period of bond A 8 years and maturity period of bond B is nil. It is notable that Shoykot expected rate of return is 10%. First question, what is the full form of YTC? B. What do you mean by yield to maturity? Explain. C. Calculate yield to maturity of bond A. D. Which bond is suitable for investment for Mr. Shoykot on the basis of intrinsic value? Dhaka Board 2019. Mr. Sopon wants to invest his capital in a bond. He has selected 2 bonds serving the bond market. Face value of bond is Taka 1000. Required rate of return is 10%. Particulars of the bond are as follows. Bond A B, coupon rate 12% is nil. Market value of bond A 1100, of bond B 600. Maturity period of bond A, no maturity period is given. Maturity period of bond B 12 years. Maturity value of bond A 1000. maturity value of bond to be 1500. What is coupon bond? What do you mean by ownership equity? Explain. Calculate current yield of bond A. You already know that what kind of bond A. D. Which bond is suitable for investment? Mr. Sopon on the basis of present value. Analyze. Dear boys and girls, thank you so much for watching the video. We will talk about something different topics again in the next class. Thank you so much for your time. Allah Hafiz.